I said I wanted to answer Darwin's question the last one. I didn't get a chance to speak. So
And go ahead and answer that joint.
I think the answer to your question, Darwin, was I don't think any black people are against people leveling up. I think we promote that and we praise that. I think the issue comes with assimilation. So a lot of the non-entertainment businesses, a lot of times it's centered around proximity to whiteness. So we view that leveling up differently depending on how it's done. So if you do it and then now you change your attire to wearing khakis and speaking a certain way, it's assimilating into a different culture. And by doing that, then black people will be like, are you not black no more? Because the further up you move, the more you have to be like as homogenous as possible with the group that you're intermingling with. So it's a catch 22 because you kind of outclass, like you switch class levels, which also has a different vernacular, different dress code. So people will view that a specific way if you no longer seem like you're relatable to your previous I guess you could call it level. But it could be seen when people like what Jasmine earlier said, why can't we just love all types of black people, right? I 100% agree with her. The reason why most of the people who would seem to be like hood culture or whatever is still like they maintain their blackness while leveling up, whatever that may look like. It's no forced assimilation. So I think that's it's a nuanced thing. It's not really that people don't want to see you level up. It's that we all kind of have an interconnectedness. And then when you disconnect and connect us by assimilating to another community, that's when you start to hear those type of things.
So just ditch the khakis and we good.
Yeah, I think yeah, just
I was trying to figure it out too, Bruce. I'm like, what?
so so say you it's your hair. So say you want to wear your
I don't
hair,
have
right?
any hair, bro.
No,
I
I'm
got
just
khakis
following.
though. I can throw those away.
Say you want to wear your hair, say in whatever style you felt was
Shit.
culturally relevant to you, right? Most of the time you're gonna have to have a specific type of haircut. Say if you like a certain, like you were known for being fresh in this way, it's not acceptable as what the norm is for the rooms you will be in at that point. So then you change your dressing. Now you're having conversations and everybody speaks a specific way. So you change your speech to sound like that. But when you come back to the people who still dress the same way you used to dress, still talk the same way you used to talk, that's where the disconnect comes. It's not in somebody leveling up. I think we applaud that and brag on it, honestly. Like, man, you seen Darwin, he doing this thing, da, 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 da. But if you disconnect, that's when the issue comes in.
So you don't feel like it's necessary to get everybody people you associate with that are different from other people that you associate with to like you? Because I think it's a term for that whenever you kind of mimic or mirror some of the characteristics of the people in the room.
It's
You
called
get
assimilation. The term is assimilation.
okay, but there's another term like I guess it is assimilation, but it's an intent isn't a motive behind it, and it's for the best interest of the relationship you have with those people. It's not necessarily forgetting the people that you came up with or nothing like that. And then oftentimes, whenever you educate yourself, you start your language and your tone start to change the higher you go up in education. It happened to me. I went to school in Alabama, so you probably wouldn't be able to tell in my voice because I've been so far into college. It just started changing. And it's not necessarily trying to be white or whatever. It's just education and success.
So I went to two PWIs, predominantly white institutions, University of Connecticut and University of Purdue. I never changed my vernacular. I never changed the way I dressed or spoke. So when I would come in a room, ironically, it would differentiate me and it proved that competence was going to be the only thing I stood on because I'm not willing to assimilate in that way. It's either I'm gonna be accepted as myself or I just won't be in that room. That's
You
my
ever,
personal thing, but I
you
understand
ever
once.
spend hours talking to a Spanish person and then
I know we got to
they
get back
talking
to
with
the
a
topic.
Spanish accent, and all of a sudden, sometimes you say words that's Spanish accent. If you
No, I
get
don't do
around
that.
people, you start talking like them for a long time. I mean, you might live. I don't even know where you live at. You live in the suburbs, or you still live in the hood.
I live in Chicago. I wouldn't say it's the hood, but I live in Chicago.
I mean, did you move from your original location where you came up from?
Yeah,
You
not
did.
that far. Yeah, not. I still live in a black neighborhood. I still live in
Well,
a
that's
black.
what, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe your demographics changed you'll be surprised how much it'll affect how you are, your personality and characteristics.
Bro, I lived all around the world. I never like I lived in what, Cali, Lebanon, Syria, Dominican Republic. I lived all over the place. I never decided to change the inner workings of what would make me meet for whatever reason success would bring. It's a decision I made. And that's not to say it's wrong to make an opposite decision. It's just saying
it's not intentional making those changes.
So we gotta get back on the topic.
But the real
Body-
fast,
Yeah.
just to
I
Marcus,
got something for that.
but Marcus, you don't sound. You're like neutral. It's not like you ain't like, yo, what's up? You know, like you just have a voice in itself will work in a white, like you're not a, I don't know how to say it. But your voice, what I'm trying to say is you don't have to change because you kind of fit anyway. If that's natural to you, well, great, because you fit. Sorry to tell you.
I'm saying, but I still could go in the hood and it's not no issue. I've never been accused of not being connected.
All right, so we got to.
I got something.
The reason why men lose interest in a woman during dating.
Men disappear because they feel like their effort is not being reciprocated.
Talk about it.
So hear me out. A lot of women feel like their approach to dating is, you as a man have to prove to me you are worthy of my time, my energy, and me being more vulnerable to you. And because of what you've been through, you think that's the right way to do it. But unfortunately, when you're dealing with a man who's actually serious and he's seeing you're holding back, you got walls up, he has concerns that you're wasting his time. So now he falls off because he's like, all right, she's tripping, she's not really making any effort. But because there's still a desire there, because he still likes her, I think the comment, the like, is a temperature check. Let me see how she'll respond. Let me see if I can still reignite something here. But it all stemmed from, are we actually making a mutual effort to get to know each other?
Okay.
So just make sure, before you start throwing all kinds of accusations at the man, ask yourself, was I coming correct in this process or not?
Cook up, sir.
Nah, she gonna go back to her homegirls and say, he love bombed me.
I got something for this topic, the current topic. I got something.
Yeah, go
All
to
right, so, but I mean, before I spew a bunch of things that may agitate the lovely ladies on the panel, just understand that, you know, I'm not talking to you, so don't get like super mad at me and thinking that I'm talking to any of y'all. I'm just speaking about women in general. All right, here we go. So I can tell you quite a few reasons as to why men lose interest in women during dating, right? Women are quite boring, for one, right? They expect you to be funny. They expect you to be entertaining. They expect you to lead the conversation. They expect you to pay for the date. They expect you to push up. You got to initiate any aspect of it, whether it's sexual content, whether it's the first move, whether it's the conversation, whether it's the meet. You are expected to do everything. Women really don't have to do anything. You're really putting forth minimal effort. And women feel like, okay, well, you know, I had to spend a lot of money to get cute for you. So did I. And I don't care. That's just what it is. Like, I had to get fresh too, right? I had to smell good too. I had to shower. I had to get myself a little lineup. I had to put on something cool because you were going to be more judgmental of my outfit than I will for yours. That's the reality of it, right? And women offered very little. And they have a sense of entitlement when they come into the dating world as to where we're supposed to do everything, right? We're expected to be chivalrous and offer equality at the same time, which is really not possible, but it's expected of us. And it's just unrealistic expectations as it is right now. The average man trying to date the average woman is outrageous right now. It's just not even doable at this point, right? You're expecting to get a superhero on a date. Like, a lot of things that are expected of a man are just not practical. Like, most people aren't comedians, but you'd be like, oh, he's corny, he's not funny. Or, you know, you expect a man to be rich. You expect a man to be able to spend, you want a $200 date for your first date. But when you think about it, if the average man is making about $50,000 a year, look at what that's going to do to my check, right? You're going to take out 20% of my earnings for that week before taxes, after taxes, even more than that. You're talking about 30-40%. That's unreasonable, but that's what's expected of. Like, I'm not going to the Cheesecake Factory. You know, this is crazy, but this is what women expect of you, and they expect you to be patient with them and wait on them until they're good and ready to deal with you the way you want to deal with them, and that's fine. But when my expectations are so high, it's tough for me to deal with. It's not something that is pleasurable for most men. That's why a lot of men are just checking out. They're cutting right to it. They're going to get themselves a little hooker or whatever, right? Little scallywag they could just buy because they can opt out of all of the hoopla involved in dating. Because dating, in all honesty, is frustrating. Because, again, women are really not entertaining. Like, you have to understand the man's perspective when he's actually sitting on a date. He's just counting down for the most part. Because most females aren't amicable, right? They're standoffish, jaded. They don't even want to deal with you. You're like, well, damn. You just hear you waiting it out. It's awkward as hell. You're like, damn, I don't even know. Like, it's so hard just to engage sometimes. Even when you meet a woman, they don't even want to say, like, what's up to you. Like, they just like, oh, like, all of a sudden, women have this view on men that just makes us like predators, right? Like, we're just trying to harm you. You're so worried, and you need to call your friends to make sure, hey, this is where I'm going to be, and yeah, just in case. And then you got mad money. There's nothing in good faith anymore. You're expecting me to fail. You're expecting me to do wrong, and I have to dig out of a hole. I'm starting in a hole. You thinking of all these terrible things about me before we even meet, and now we get to the date. You don't even like me. I done spent my money. I get nothing out of it. You had a good meal. And then you have plate pirates who have no intention on seeing you again, but will literally just have you take them on a date just so they can eat. I know women personally who will date 2 to 3 guys in a day just to satisfy their ravenous appetites and have no intention on any engagement with the man outside of the date. So this is a system that's completely abused by women, and it's advantageous to women to do so, whereas men are investing a lot more into the situation versus women.
Can I please have
You
this?
can.
Can I please have this? Okay. It's cause and effect, okay? Even you yourself, your whole point is to get in her pants, right? That's your point. What is she? If her point is to get a commitment out of you.
I never said that.
Listen to what I'm saying. Because you just said, I'll just pay for a prostitute.
Got his ass cooked.
So,
He got cooked.
so this is the problem. Women have caught on to the fact that, oh, you're going to sit here in my face and play like you're intentional just to get in my pants, and then I'm going to be left with a broken heart. You understand? Now they're taking their heart off of it. Like, you want to play me? I'm going to play you. How about that? And I'm not saying it's right, because I do believe the women are taking it too far. This whole meal thing, like, girl, sit down somewhere. But I think that it's both ways. Both people are trying to play each other, trying to get something out of the other one. And it's just all going wrong. Women feel like men are only going on dates just to get in the box. Because guess what? At the end of the day, the marriage rates show that that's what they're doing. You're not committing. You're not getting married. She wants a commitment. She's not getting what she wants, but you probably got the box. So
that would be great if 80% of divorces weren't initiated by women.
So it doesn't. So I get that. But at the end of the day, if she's giving you your part, right, and you're not giving her the commitment, you're the only one walking away happy. Okay? And so if she goes from one relationship and she goes to another relationship and it's the same outcome where she's giving you her time, you know, and all the men who've never had a black woman love you, I apologize, because it could be a great thing. But at some point, women get tired of putting their end. You sitting here holding her on for 2-3 years, she loving on you, and the next thing you know, it ain't gonna work, because in your mind, you already knew you wasn't gonna marry her. Okay? Women only win. Listen. Women only win when there's a commitment. And our marriage rates show that she has a more chance of not being married than she does in being married. And so women have caught on to it, and now that y'all just playing each other. That's what you're doing, you're playing each other. You're like, okay, you want this vagina? I got them pockets, okay? And I'm not saying, because we know that you guys are all married. But just look at the dating. It's just people. Everybody's out for themselves.
So Shan, is this your typical experience or no?
No, this is what I'm seeing. This is so at the end of the day.
Oh, so it's not your typical experience, right?
So
I would challenge
Trev,
most women on this panel that.
Trev.
Go ahead.
How many friends do you know, or how many men you know, got a girlfriend and they ain't married?
Actually, most of the men I know
not
are married.
many. Yeah.
But,
so what?
If only 48% of men are married, black men are married, we gotta say that we see that there are people out here in long-term relationships. They're just not getting married.
So Shan, what you're speaking to is the top 10%, the people who they refer to as F boys, right? The new meaning of F boy or whatever. So no. Yes, because the average man's experience is not like that. The average man is actually yearning for a relationship. He would do everything in his damn power to be able to.
Is he yearning for a commitment, a marriage?
Yes, yes. The average man is. The top 10% of women who get most of the date, who are dating most of the women. No, that's not their idea. No, because you all give it up to this guy, and that's fine, and you get those results that you were talking about. That's the results you always yield if these are the men you constantly date. But the average man yearns for a long-term relationship. Absolutely. But most women duck, dodge, and hide from these guys because they activate their icks. They're corny. They're not cool. They're not 6 feet tall. They avoid these dudes.
That's jabber.
And that's the dudes. No, it's not jabber. Stop it.
Listen,
that's real life.
This is why it's jabber.
Jabber? Are you for real?
Right now with somebody. Most of them are in a relationship right now. The single women on this panel probably got somebody they dating that they in love with, right? That nigga just don't want you like that. Okay? He is stringing you along.
The only reason that would be the case is if you're punching outside of your weight class.
I'm just saying in general, like the chat. Let's just be honest.
In general, they're punching outside of their weight class.
Listen, Trev, you're not in the dating scene. You cannot sit from a female's perspective. Okay?
Yes, I can.
So what I'm saying to you is, most women, when you go out in the streets, you go to a grocery store, these women don't got rings on their finger, but they got a man. They got a man. Sometimes he right there beside them, but they ain't got a ring on their finger. He ain't committed. He not.
Tell you what,
I got a question. I'm
gonna just end it with this real quick. I'll tell you this. I've met, in general, men who I've met who are single. They could typically be the average guy, right? Women who are having problems with men, I can easily identify most of the problems that they have and have helped people into finding decent men. I'll just say that.